So today is the appearance day of Vamanadev. It is also the appearance day of Jiva Goswami. And it is also one other thing. Oh, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So, to do justice to all of them, we're going to need some other days. So I selected to focus on Jiva Goswami. So today we have a PowerPoint and some research from many sources. I guarantee you will learn something new and something sweet about Srila Jiva Goswami. So without further ado, especially now that we have Dravida Prabhu here, we have auspiciousness, we can shut off the lights. Let's get the house lights. So now, so Jiva Goswami, just to give you a flavor of the time. In the West, 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. So this is 1513. Europe is just starting to arise. And can I ask you, there are so many explorers. There was Magellan, there was Vasco da Gama. So many. You can tell whoever's having a circus out there to cool it. Out in the patio. Where were they all trying to, where was Columbus trying to get? Anybody know? They were all trying to get to India. And the top nations of the world, the number one nation as far as gross national production, grains, jewels, cloth, was India. Right behind it was China. A distant third was Persia. And I think at 8% was France, followed by England, followed by Germany, followed by Holland. I mean, they were just living in those dark stone castles, not sure if bathing was a good idea. So this is the cultural atmosphere, the historical arena that Jiva Goswami appeared in opulent, peaceful, powerful India. So appeared in 1513, disappeared in 1598, manifest pastimes for 84, 85 years. Okay, next. He appeared in the village of Ramakeli. His uncles were Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. His father, Anupama, passed away in 1514. He was named Balaba by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and was certified by Mahaprabhu as a stalwart devotee of Lord Ramchandra. There's a whole story how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was converting him to pure Krishna bhakti, and he actually could not do it. He was up all night long thinking, how can I take my mind away from Lord Ramchandra? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu embraced him in affection. He was a manifestation of Hanuman. Next. So in a dream, Krishna and Balaram appeared to him, and we'll read more about this. I'm going to read something. There's a lot of far-out details. He made his own deity of Radha and Krishna as a little boy, and he would sleep with them in his bed. He would snuggle up and sleep with them, and that was all that he talked about. And his dreams, he was born in a very well-to-do family. And they had big hopes, material hopes for him. But all he dreamed about was that he would someday be able to go and join his uncles in Vrindavan. Prabhupada was the same way. Prabhupada thought, seeing the tram cars, railway cars, electric trolleys in Calcutta, he thought if he could get a stick long enough and could touch the wires, he could stand on the rails, touch the wires, and go to Vrindavan. That's pretty far out. In a dream, Krishna Balaram appeared, became Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. Mahaprabhu said, I'm putting you under the care of Lord Nityananda. On his way to Vrindavan, under a ruse, we'll explain this later on, he got out of his family obligations and was on his way, unbeknownst to them, to Vrindavan. And he stopped in, because he was in, I believe in Jessore, which is, you have any Bengalis here? No Bengalis in the house? So Jessore was, you're not Bengal. Oh, Ram! So where's Jessore? Well, Jessore is part of Bangladesh. Yeah, it's part of Bangladesh. That's my understanding too. So on his way from, East Bangladesh, they call it East Bengal, on his way he stopped in Mayapur, and Lord Nityananda gave him darshan of the Mayapur. So next. This is the entrance to the, and this is the entrance on the left. Can you find that? Thanks. On the entrance is the left to the Radha Damodar temple, which was Jiva Goswami's place. Rupa Goswami, and we'll read about that in a minute, hand carved the deity of Damodar. The Goswamis were multi-talented. So many things they knew how to do. So, and that's the certified history. That's the history that Prabhupada narrates. That's the history that when you talk to the Pandits there at the Radha Damodar temple, and we're not talking about the small deity. I thought they were talking about the small deity. They're talking about the big deity, Radha Damodar. So next. This is the samadhi at the Radha Damodar temple. You can see back inside there. This is Jiva Goswami's Murti next. Here's a close-up of Jiva Goswami's Murti at the Radha Damodar temple and his Japamala. Next. So this is Prabhupada visited his rooms in 1973. This is the, this room here is where Prabhupada used to sleep and do his writing. And then this side here is where his kitchen is, and you've seen that famous picture. He's looking out at Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Kutir and Samadhi. And this here, he used to sit here and chant japa for hours, looking at beautiful Damodar. Next. This is looking into that Prabhupada's kitchen, and this is inside Prabhupada taking prasadam and looking out that window. What is he meditating on? He's meditating on how my spiritual master has given me an impossible mission. How will I ever do it? Go to the West. Next. This is, of course, there's a long story. We don't have time to tell it. But Prabhupada had the darshan of Rupa Goswami. One night, Rupa Goswami appeared to Srila Prabhupada and told him, you just go to the West. You go to the West and we will take care of everything else. And that's confirmed by Harisari. That's confirmed by Damodar Goswami, one of the Mahants of the Radha Damodar temple. Next. Now they've walled off, anyway. And Prabhupada wrote about his rooms at the Radha Damodar. He said, I eternally reside in my rooms at Radha Damodar temple. And in another letter he wrote, it all began here. Therefore, these Radha Damodar rooms are the hub of the wheel of the spiritual universe. They're right in Seva Kunj where the gopis dance. And so, I mean, it's so many. It's on a level I can't even imagine. So next. Now this is interesting. This is actually, the floor is down here. This is a support beam that goes up the side of the wall, across, and it's in Prabhupada's bedroom. You can see it when you go there. It's a support beam. But it's hollowed out, and this slides over, and there's a compartment up there. Tamal Krishna Maharaj told me this. That he asked Prabhupada, what is this? And Prabhupada said, oh, the Goswamis used to hide things here. And naturally, Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked, what? Prabhupada said, oh, probably prasadam. Actually, Prabhupada explained they used to keep their pens, their writing scrolls, they used to keep things up there. Next. Now this is a rare find. This is at that Vrindavan Institute right down the road from our Krishna Balaram temple. And this is Srila Jiva Goswami's will, witnessed and signed by Krishna Das Kaviraj and Vrindavan Das Thakur. These are real people who interacted in this world. It's not just wishful thinking. They were real, and their signature is here. Because Jiva Goswami was an expert. Well, I think it's next. Let's see what's next. And this is the translation. Hail to Sri Krishna and Sri Radha, who yearn to confer happiness on each other. On the day 2nd of the dark half month of, anyway, it goes on, AD 1606, this will and testament of Jiva, a resident of Sri Vrindavan, and a follower of the lotus feet of their reverences, the happily named Sri Sanatan and Sri Rupa. I mean, it's such a far-out thing. This entire undertaking of mine is all for the sake of facilitating the service of Sri Krishna and Sri Radha, who are manifest in the glorious Murtis whom I adore. He's talking about Radha Damodar, and that's a picture of Radha Damodar there. Because he was a manager. He was a GBC. Dare I say it. He had the wills of all the other, because they owned land. You know, they would have the land at Radhakund, the land for the temples. Then there were flower gardens, there were goshalas. Rupa Goswami had a goshala Was it Rupa or Sanatan? They were, oh, no, Rupa Goswami had a Goshala with 500 cows in it, because he was given the order by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to provide milk for the devotees coming to and taking shelter in Vrindavan. His job was to make sure they got milk. Now, Sanatan Goswami's job was to make sure they had rice. So he had a whole arrangement. So that all the Vaishnavas could get a little rice every day and, you know, be happy. Fruits growing in the forest, milk from the cows. They're set. Fruits and vegetables. No, you have no idea what Vrindavan was like. So that's from Rupa Goswami's, Jiva Goswami's will. Next. Jiva Goswami was a practical manager. He held the land titles, managed the records, the executor of the wills for the other Goswamis. He arranged for the purchasing of the land and the construction of Radha Kund. These things didn't just pop out of the sky. On one hand, they came by Krishna's mystical arrangement, but they're real people. Next. Now, this is something else mystical. This is the Red Fort in Delhi. You could take Buckingham Palace of King Charles and drop it in the Red Fort, and it would be the size of the horse stable. This thing is massive. So there's a picture of Akbar. What do we care about Akbar? Well, I'll tell you in a minute. This is Akbar here, the apex of the Mughal Empire. Next. Now, Akbar was eclectic. He was Muslim, but he was curious, and he was open-minded, and he was far from his grandson, Aurangzeb, who was Kamsa come again. He was very broad-minded. And he went to visit saints. Mostly he would visit, Farsi and, what is the word I'm looking for? Sufi. He would look for Sufi saints and things like that. But he heard about the Goswamis, and he came to see, he said that he wanted to come. Maharaj Akbar. I mean, forget Queen Elizabeth I. I mean, forget all those guys. They're nothing. They're little chipmunks in front of Akbar. So he wants to come and see Rupa Goswami. Jiva Goswami. Rupa had passed away. He wanted to come see Jiva Goswami. He also met with Rupa. So he... and he was the king. Talk about truth to power. Jiva Goswami responded that there's only one king in Vrindavan, and it's not you. There's only one Purusha. We're all Prakriti, including you. So if you want to come see me, I don't leave Vrindavan. I'm not, because Fatehpur Sikri is not maybe a 45-minute drive. That was the other, one of the other fortresses of Akbar. So, you want to come see me? You have to come simple. You can't come with a big entourage. You come with a few guards, a few trusted associates, and you can come see me. And he came. And he was so amazed, and there's symptoms of that amazement. It's not just our wishful thinking. We'll mention that in a minute. He was so amazed that he said, Aishwarya Bhav, you're a Kshatriya. He said to Jiva Goswami, what can I give you? Let me give you something. Jiva Goswami said, well, all right then, you could fix this railing. There was a little bit of a railing down to a kund, you know? You could fix that railing. Now, Akbar was almost offended. You saw Red Fort. He built Fatehpur Sikri, which is stationed so nicely on top of a hill that it catches the prevailing winds. He brought ice in huge, in big blocks from the Himalayas. He had tanks on the roof of Fatehpur Sikri. Those big blocks of ice were put in these tanks. Fragrant flowers and fragrant oils were put in the tanks. And by gravity feed, you can see it. There's little nozzles in all the different rooms, lotus-shaped nozzles on the ceiling. And one of the servants would pull a lever, and that ice-cold water would flow across the ceiling of whatever room was designated, and a cool, fragrant mist. All by gravity feed. So, I mean, these are sophisticated people. Now with American air conditioning, you get Legion's disease, Legionnaire's disease. That's a horrible disease, and it grows from mold in the AC systems. So, you could fix this railing. I'm Akbar. I built Fatehpur Sikri, and you're asking me. And Jiva Goswami gave him a vision that he saw that this entire railing was made of jewels, Chintamani Dham. This is Vrindavan. And Akbar did a quick calculation. He could see that all the jewels in all of his treasuries were not enough to repair that one portion of a railing in Vrindavan. He was stunned. Later on, I don't know if I mentioned it here because there's too much to mention, but he gave the land for the Radha Damodar library. He let them use this brown Vamsi stone, like Madan Mohan Temple, which was only used for royal buildings up to that point. It was a big deal for a Muslim king to let Hindus use that for building a temple. But no, he recognized Krishna's the Mahapurush. He's the real king here. Okay, next. Now, there was a debate in the court. I don't know whether it was at Agra or Fatehpur Sikri, of Akbar. And the Pandits were arguing, as Pandits are prone to do, which river is superior, the Yamuna or the Ganga? And they were all pouring on the Shastra. They had one side with the advocates of Jamuna Devi, the other was Ganga Devi. They were arguing back and forth, who's in charge, you know, what's superior. So it got quite heated, as Pandits are prone to do. And so Akbar asked Jiva Goswami, can you come settle this? Jiva Goswami said, just try to understand. I mean, forget the President of the United States calling for, you know, Dravida Prabhu to come and settle something, you know? What are the odds of this, you know, just to give you a scope of the thing. So he said, I don't leave Vrindavan. So Akbar said, don't worry. I'll send, you know, one of my best chariots with my best horses. We'll pick you up at sunrise. You come, you settle this thing, and we'll have you back by sunset in Vrindavan. And that's what happened. So when he arrived, Jiva Goswami said, actually, it's considered first stance that the Jamuna Tatachara, Jamuna Jivana, Jamuna Pati, that the Jamuna River is superior. Now, The Ganga, why is the Ganga famous? Trivikram. Right? Why? Yes, Prabhu.
Because when
yeah, when Vamadev put his, it was his toe. So simply by the toe touch, the Ganga, some, what is it, Karana Jal or some of the Ganga came down and was touched by the toe of Mahavishnu, by Vamadev, which is day is today. That's convenient. So, okay, that's toe. But Jamuna Jivana, Jamuna Pati, Jamuna, there's full immersion. So the Jamuna got full immersion. So the Jamuna is superior. But ladies, as the same with men, especially in Kali Yuga, everything's jumbled up. There was a little envy that the Ganga is thinking that Jamuna got full immersion. I just got the toe. So who remedied this? Yeah, Ram. We need the mic. Get the mic. Yes, Ram?
Mahaprabhu bathed in the Ganga.
Mahaprabhu made a point of sporting in the Ganga. So both ladies were fully satisfied. They both got full immersion. So Jiva Goswami, with Shastric references and from the Upanishads and from this, Purana and from that Purana, just buried him. That actually it's a false argument and they're both on the same level. Everyone was sadhu, 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 and he got in the chariot and got back to Vrindavan. So next, just to give you a flavor of these people. Akbar donated the land for the Radha Govinda temple and for the Radha Damodar temple. It's a big deal. This is his, you can't see it, but this is his suit of armor and his helmet. And his sword, I could go off on Akbar, but he was a, solid guy. Okay, next. And this is just the Radha Govinda. This is from the British in 1850, what it used to look like. And then this spire, this went up another 5 stories. Next. Now this is an inscription. You can still see it. This was carved in the Radha Govinda Dev temple by Jiva Goswami. These are real people. Next. And what does that inscription say? Emperor Akbar is a very kind person and a Vaishnava, from Jiva Goswami. I give my blessings to Emperor Akbar. In his kingdom, the Vaishnavas are living very peacefully. That is sweet, or who knows what, but imagine Akbar, wherever he is, getting that benediction. Because that's a king. The Vaishnavas, peacefully go about their sadhana. Next. Now in Sri Sri Radha Krishna's eternal pastimes, Srila Jiva Goswami serves as Sri Vilas Manjari, one of the 8 Astasakis, intimately serving Sri Sri Radha and Krishna. So you have Vishaka and Lalita, and you have their assistants. So you have the 8 gopis, and you see 8 there. Those are the 8 manjaris, and he's one of those manjaris. Next. So may we always stay under the shelter of Srila Jiva Goswami. Okay, next. I think that's it. Now, if we hit the house lights, I want to read something. I want to read a little bio. We'll skip over some. But this has some very sweet stuff in it. And I'm sorry, Govardhan, but I need my glasses. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. Keshava Maharaj is here. I better behave myself. So, I'll skip over what we've already read. Now, this is a composite from a bio by Radhanath Maharaj. It's bona fide purpose. And from the first volume of Shivaram Maharaj's Venu Gita. So it's mostly from that, and it's tidbits I picked up from Srila Prabhupada's letters and lectures and things like that along the way. So that's what this is, a composite of those different things. Of course, you know that already. But it says, he had all the charming features of a Mahapurush, a divine person. He had lotus eyes, a high nose, and a high forehead, broad chest, long arms, and a radiant golden body. I'll skip over what we already covered. His childhood was like Parikshit Maharaj, worshipping his deities of Krishna Balaram, which he saw in a dream turn into Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda, and Mahaprabhu telling him, you are under the shelter of Lord Nityananda. He will take care of you. In his boyhood, he made a deity of Krishna Balaram, expressing his pure devotion. He would often cry while worshipping them. Little boy, like Prahlad, offering clothes, chandan, flowers, ornaments, and tasty sweets to Krishna and Balaram. He would take some and give Mahaprasadam to his playmates. From the very beginning, Jiva Goswami showed kindness to other living entities. We'll get into that in a second. Jiva Goswami was so attached to Krishna Balaram that at bedtime he would embrace his deities and fall asleep. So he wasn't in bed, he would embrace them and then go to bed. His parents thought he was only playing, but the villagers rejoiced to see the Jiva's love for Krishna Balaram. In school, he quickly mastered Sanskrit grammar, poetry, logic, philosophy. Srimad Bhagavatam gave life to his life. Krishna Katha filled him with happiness. No one dared to speak to him about anything but Krishna. Making some excuse, he left Vrindavan. That I read, or it spoke about. Once the aging Vaishnava Ballabhacharya offered to edit Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He met Jiva, and he mentioned, Ballabhacharya mentioned to Jiva, what he saw as some technical errors in Rupa Goswami's writing. He, out of affection, he offered, there's a little editing you could use here, and so I'll help you with your editing, the elderly Ballabhacharya. And although much younger than Vallabha, Jiva Goswami spoke in defense of his guru. You are seeing from the lower platform of bhakti tainted by jnana. You know, if you're looking up at something, you see it from a certain angle and you're limited in what you can see. If you're on top of a hill looking down, you can see the whole scope. So Jiva Goswami said, it's not that what you're saying is wrong, but you're looking up. So, from the platform of bhakti tinged by jnana. So you're seeing in a certain way. But Rupa Goswami, he's up here and got the full scope. So actually there's no error. That's how he remedied it. And who are we to argue? We can't see beyond the tip of our nose. So Rupa Goswami scolded Jiva, celestial sound, There's an off button on that thing, you'll be amazed to see. There really is. And the bad news will be there again when you turn it on. You won't have missed the thing. So, Srila Rupa Goswami scolded Jiva, telling him to leave Vrindavan. Living in an abandoned crocodile hole in Nandagat, about 45 minutes from Jiva Goswami's Bhajan Kutir, Srila Jiva Goswami began to fast. He subsisted on wheat flour, which he baked, mixed with Jamuna water. Seeing his repentance for speaking so boldly to a senior saintly Vaishnava, and his severe tapasya, Sanatana Goswami approached Rupa. Just see how they talk to each other. So Srila Sanatana Goswami says to Rupa, you have deep understanding of Nam Ruchi, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Nam Ruchi. But I don't think you fully understand Jiva Doya, because these are the cornerstones of Mahaprabhu's, Nam Ruchi, relishing the holy name, is the essence of love of Godhead. It's the essence of all religion, to relish the holy name and the glories. And then the other side is Jiva Doya, to deliver mercy to the conditioned souls. That's religion. It doesn't matter what field you're in, or whether you're Muslim or this and that. Are you relishing the glories of the holy name of the Supreme Lord? And are you giving mercy? Are you distributing it? So, excuse me, I'm a little tired. I'm getting to the end. I'm like a toothpaste that all the toothpaste tube, all the toothpaste has been squeezed out. So all my prana is gone. It'll come back by Krishna's grace. So, but you don't understand Jiva Doya. So Jiva Goswami could understand the nuance, and he invited Jiva Goswami back. And we can't understand these pastimes. Prabhupada says, how does he say it? Oh, there's a saying, and Prabhupada uses it. You teach that it's not that there was some fault in Jiva Goswami. It's that to teach us a lesson. And Prabhupada says you teach the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. And what that means is the daughter-in-law is new in the family. She's sensitive. And they're all there, the ladies are cooking dinner for the family or whatever it is. And there's a way we make dahi wada in this family. Or there's a way, everybody's got their own way of doing it, So, but you don't want to tell the daughter-in-law, no, we don't big chunks of potatoes and samosa. No. Prabhupada said you have to cook the cauliflower. I learned from Kirtanananda, who learned from Srila Prabhupada. You have cauliflower, you have peas, and you cook it down till it's the consistency of cow dung. That's samosa. And what to spice it, the whole thing, So in our family, no, we don't make it like that. We make it like this. But if you tell the daughter-in-law, her feelings will be hurt, So you tell your daughter, hey, don't, and she already knows, and she takes it and plays the role, so the daughter-in-law learns. You teach the daughter-in-law by teaching the daughter. So Rupa Goswami was teaching us how to deal gently with senior Vaishnavas, with saintly persons, how to be careful of pride, It was there in Jiva Goswami. Don't walk away thinking, oh, Jiva Goswami was puffed up. Okay? So. And I mentioned that Rupa Goswami carved that, and he's big, Damodar. We're almost done. What time is it? After the appearance of Rupa and Sanatana, Jiva Goswami became the Gaudiya Sampradaya Acharya to guide all the Vaishnavas. And the Maharaj of Jaipur was also, who is the second unto Akbar as far as power, he was also communicating. There's a series of letters We don't have time to go into it. Between, because anyway, it's a long story. Where was I? Although he was the undisputed leader, he always acted as a humble servant of all the Jivas. Whenever Bengalis Vaishnavas visited Vrindavan, he would lovingly receive them, arrange for their prasadam in comfortable rooms, and even guide them on Braj Mandala Parikram. An excellent Sanskrit scholar, Jiva Goswami, would compose Sanskrit verse in his mind and write them down without changing anything. Now remember, their writing method was that you press with the stylus on a palm leaf, and it makes a permanent line. You can't go out there with an eraser, hit delete, and back up with your computer. You make that line, it's indelible. It's set. So he would compose in his mind, get his stylus, perhaps from the hiding place there at Radha Damodar Temple, and just write perfectly. Like Rupa Goswami, what? His handwriting was like rows of pearls. Yet each verse was a priceless gem of perfect meter, rhythm, poetry, and meaning. He was the greatest philosopher. Prabhupada said he was the smartest person to ever walk on the earth. Of course, Mahaprabhu and Krishna, all that. But as far as a jiva. Contemporary scholars, and this is a fact, contemporary scholars, you go to university, you go to Columbia University, which is one of the best Sanskrit schools in the world. You go to that Calcutta Sanskrit school, and Rupa Goswami is the supreme. They don't even argue. It's not even up for debate. Jiva Goswami we're almost done. Jiva Goswami was the youngest and most prolific writer amongst the Goswamis. He wrote an astounding 500,000 Sanskrit verses, about 25 books. His books prove, I'll just finish it. His books prove that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy gives the essence of Vedic wisdom and the perfection of religion. Gopal Champu, Sat Sandarbhas, and the Harinam Vyakarana are three of his most famous books. Sat Sandarbhas establish the transcendental truth. I'll give you an example of Sat Sandarbha. In the Tattva Sandarbha, if you want to take it, Western philosophy comes down to Descartes. I think, therefore I am. How do we know what we know? I was talking with Rabindra Swarup one time, and philosophy of education. How do we know anything? How do we actually know what we know? Well, there's different pramanas, we heard from others, people say, there's all different types of pramanas. But that all rests, this rests on this rests on this rests on this, rests on, and it rests on sense perception's fallible. How do you stack it all the way back? And it begins with, I think, I have a sense of self. So I exist. What he says in Tat Sandarbha, there's the seer, the seen, and the act of seeing. Okay, there's me, I'm seeing, I'm the seer. Okay, and I'm looking out, I'm seeing all of you. You could all be figments of my imagination. You could all be a dream. And there's the interaction, there's the act of seeing, but I know that something is processing it. I have a sense of self. I think, therefore I am. So he starts the Tat Sandarbha, Jiva Goswami, from the same position. I know I am. Okay, now how do I know what I know? And he builds from there. and he discards the fallibility of sense perception. He did, all the different pramanas he systematically dismantles as fallible. And he comes finally that you have to get avaroha, you have to get descending. I think I've got that right. There's aroha and avaroha, so descending. It comes back to descending. And it has to be divinely revealed. It's as simple as that. And what is the best divine revelation? That's the Vedas. Now, he makes the case, overwhelmingly. And of all the Vedas, he works his way through, gets to the Upanishads, and where does he get to? Srimad Bhagavatam. So if you want to know, and it's completely logical. You can walk into any philosophy class, in any university, and you can take them, if you understand, and I'm not saying I understand, but with Jiva Goswami's Tat Sandarbha, and you can bring them from that simple point that no one can deny, all the way to the lotus feet of Srimad Bhagavatam. That's far out. Okay, we're almost done. I just wanted to read about him meeting Mirabai. Maybe we'll fast forward. What am I missing here? Am I missing a page? Oh, here we go. So we'll just end with this, and then one last thing. But Mirabai, and everybody in India, every Hindu tradition, everyone knows Mirabai. She was a singer and a poet and a bhakta and all kinds of stuff, So he points out, does anyone, well, I don't want to waste your time. What was the fallacy in Mirabai's philosophy? Yeah, no spiritual master. She never accepted a spiritual master. So, what does Krishna say? Tad vidi panipatena parpanina. That's the first step. So she didn't accept a spiritual master, and she introduced Dwarkarag, the mood of Dwarka Rasa, into Vrindavan. So those are, Jiva Goswami points out, those are her two fallacies. So that's just a sample. And I mentioned he passed away in 1542. Srila Jiva Goswami, no, that's not right. He was Vilas Manjarian. So that's a little sample about Jiva Goswami. And let us remember this, when you're out there in the field, or when you're, chanting japa or whatever it is, that is the line that ISKCON comes in. They say we stand on the shoulders of giants. Well, we don't stand on the shoulders. We take the dust from the feet of giants. But that is our lineage. That's who we're meant to be, up to that standard. And that's what we're presenting. That's what we represent. So somebody asked, they said, you gave a nice answer yesterday, Keshava Maharaj, about pride. So the Prabhupada said we can be proud that we come in this line. We can be proud that we're a Vaishnav. Prabhupada said we can be proud that by the grace of my Guru Maharaj, I know who is who and what is what. So that kind of pride, it's not arrogance, it's a whole different thing, Okay, we can end there. Thank you for sitting so patiently. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Jiva Goswami ki jai.